Hi guys, Alvin Mark here. Welcome to beautiful Japan. Okay, 5 seconds. Done with the joke. We're actually here in sunny Singapore. And it's the blossoming of these trumpet flowers again. So I found a neat spot to paint from. It's going to be elevated. I'm actually here on an overhead bridge and I'm going to be painting block number 6. I'm right here on top of Old Airport Road. Do you know that this was formerly part of Kallang Airport, our first airport here in Singapore? And when it closed in 1955, a couple of years later, this was made passable to traffic. And these public residences here, they've been cleared out for some redevelopment in the near future. You can see from here that they're all empty. I'm here at Dakota Crescent. This is one of the oldest residential public housing here in Singapore. So a little bit of history on the buildings here at Dakota Crescent. These cluster of buildings started construction in the 1950s. They were completed by SIT, that's Singapore Improvement Trust, run by Colonial Singapore, in 1958. Interesting to know that this place was named after an American aircraft that used to land here at Kallang Airport. The plane is none other than the Douglas DC Dakota. So there are two groups of models doing the photo shoot today. So I must be at the right place. Because of how it's shaped, it feels like tissue paper, by the way. When it falls, it kind of spins all the way down. So it really takes its time to spiral its way down to the ground. I was just painting the largest rain vortex in Singapore. It's shaped like that too. Very interesting. So looking at what's on the ground, I think the climax of the blossoming was yesterday. I'll just go with this. Otherwise, I'll have to wait for another year. The blossoming of these trumpet flowers happened approximately 2 weeks after the spring equinox. Towards the end of the first week, spilling into the second week of April. And the thing that triggers this blossoming would be the heavy downpour, including lightning and thunder, right after this dry spell. So it's this gush of wind suddenly, and stuff from this palm tree landed on my palette. So I have a mixture of palm tree, probably seeds, and debris and dust. But you know what happened in the end? I actually saw a whole myriad of leaves just falling, and then bam! Well, you can see some of it now falling in clusters. I immediately reflected that in here. So what I was doing was to smoothen any ridges that I find. I don't want the painting to bulge out when it dries. So I'm kind of just flattening it out. This one really reminds me of a Miyazaki piece, like it's part of a Miyazaki animation. So for those who cannot imagine this being part of the backdrop or the background of a Miyazaki film, enjoy this. Are you liking that, guys? Let me know in the comments below. The elderly would be sent here, and this would be like a daycare center for them. That would be staff doing exercises with them, playing games with them, and just being with them. So guys, let's quickly take a trip back in time to see what was life back then, not too long ago in history. So prior to this place closing down, there was a lot of talk that it was gonna be completely scrapped and rebuilt again. But recently in the news we hear that certain parts, certain elements of this iconic area will be preserved, and one of these areas would be the Dove Playground. Funny, I always thought it looked more like a seal. This Dove Playground was designed by Mr. Ko Ian-gi in 1979. And it was the same guy who designed the well-loved Dragon Playground in Toa Payoh. The structure of this playground was so popular that it was replicated or duplicated over in Malaysia, in Johor Bahru, just north of Singapore to be exact. You can check out this clip if you're interested to see what the copy looks like. So glad that everyone wrote in to petition against pulling down that iconic playground. And guess what? It's happening. They're going to tear down all these other flats here, and they're gonna leave that playground, and it's gonna be something for many generations to enjoy. But I also think that the trumpet trees outside should be preserved. Let's see how much space they have for the next redevelopment phase for this place. Hey, it rhymes. So I bet residents used to come here and play Chinese checkers during the evenings when it's much cooler. You can see the checkerboard right here, and it's carved into this stone table. We've come to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for being right here with me. For those who are new here, I think you've seen this enough to know what to do when you see this button over here. And until the next episode, this is Alvin Mark from Dakota Crescent. Ciao ciao.